DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. Today's topic is coming up with ideas, producing ideas. Now, this could be, the ideas I'm talking about here could be for anything. It could be ideas for making money, ideas for meeting people, ideas for lifting weights. It could be ideas for building a business, ideas for putting out content on your YouTube channel or your podcast or your Instagram account. Any kind of ideas that you want to come up with, understanding that coming up with ideas is a skill. And there are certain tips I want to give you about this. It's about, first of all, developing the habit of coming up with ideas every day. Number 2, not throwing away any of your ideas. Number 3, observing. And number 4, creating momentum for yourself. So we're going to get into those points, but first I want to explain why you want to develop the skill of coming up with ideas, because obviously in life, all of us at some points have challenges. I mean, we all got challenges right now in different areas. Sometimes things are going great, sometimes things are not going great in different areas of our lives. Or the more ideas we can produce and come up with and maybe execute on, the better the chances that we handle that challenge and we move up another level. It doesn't mean that we'll never have problems again. It just means we're going to have higher level problems. Would you rather have a problem with $100 or a problem with $1 million? There's still going to be problems when you up there, but you still got to, but it's better to have problems at a higher level. As we advance in life, we don't lose problems, we just get different problems and higher quality problems. So this idea is not about eliminating, it's just about moving us up to another level. So let's talk about how you can produce ideas, how I produce ideas, and how you can take this and use this to make ideas for anything that you want to deal with in your life, where sometimes people come to me and say, well, I want to do this, this, and this, or I got this issue in front of me, or this is what I'm dealing with. And I say, well, what have you done to help yourself? Or what are you going to do to help yourself? And they say, well, I don't know. I don't have a clue. I don't have any idea what to do. It's your job to have the ideas. In this video, I'm going to help you make sure that you always have ideas, no matter what the challenge is, even if you haven't figured it out yet. Number 1, there's this habit of coming up with ideas on a daily basis. I heard this from this guy named James Altucher. He has I don't know if he does YouTube, but he has a podcast, a really great podcast, and he writes a lot. So those of you who like to read, he's written several books, and he writes these blog post emails that he sends out like damn near every day. And James said he came up with this idea, daily practice of coming up with 10 ideas per day. And it doesn't matter what the ideas are about. They could be random ideas that are not connected in any way. They could be ideas all about a certain topic if you want to do that. Just coming up with 10 of them every single day and writing them down. Not just 10 ideas and just, oh, I had 10 ideas, at 9 o'clock this morning. No, write down the ideas you have every single day. He does it with pen and paper, literally pen and paper. I do it on my phone. I use an app where I write down my ideas every single day and track how many I'm coming up with every day. Just come up with 10 ideas per day. And what that does is start building your muscle of coming up with ideas. It's just like if you think you're terrible at ideas, for example, if you think you're terrible at running, but you ran a mile every day, eventually you get pretty good at running a mile. You could do it damn near every day. It will become such a habit that you will feel bad even if you didn't do it when a year earlier you thought you hated running or you thought you were terrible at running. If you do it every day, you start to develop a muscle for doing a thing. I don't care what it is. It could be a positive habit or a negative habit. If you do it often enough, you develop a muscle for it, you develop a habit, and you automatically start doing it without even thinking about it. And then in your daily life, outside of the habit that you did on purpose, when you're challenged with something that involves that, you can do it without even thinking about it. So what if you could always just come up with a bunch of ideas to help another person, to help yourself, to deal with a challenge or situation at any moment that it happened in your life? You can do that if you develop the habit of forcing yourself to come up with ideas every single day. That's something I've been doing for like 5 years going now. And I had to start at 0. So if you've never done it, start at 0, start today, write down 10 ideas about anything you want, just 10 ideas. Then tomorrow do 10 more, and the next day do 10 more. In a year, that's 3,650 ideas. In a month, that's 300 ideas. You had 300 ideas in a month. Do you think maybe 1 or 2 or 5 of them might actually be useful and can help you move forward and advance in your life, your career, your sport, your relationships, your business, whatever you're doing? Probably so. So start the habit of coming up with 10 ideas per day. And they don't have to be good ideas. You don't have to execute on ideas. They don't have to make sense. You don't have to explain them to anybody. You just got to have them. 10 ideas a day. Number 2, understand that no idea is bad. This goes hand in hand with the first point. When you have an idea that seems like, all right, that would never work, I would never execute on that, that can't happen because I ain't got the money, I don't live in this place, I don't have the credibility, I don't have the resume, somebody would say no. Don't worry about any of that. Don't qualify your ideas. There are no bad ideas when you're doing this exercise, developing this habit. You're just doing it. It's kind of like if you started running a mile every day. There's no wrong way to run. Just run. Just do it every day and finish a mile every single day. Then once you get the habit developed, then we can start tweaking it and saying, okay, let's make this better. Let's do this at a higher level. Let's see if we can take this up a notch. But first, just develop the habit of doing it consistently every time. There's no wrong idea. There's no bad idea. Just develop the ideas. Don't throw anything away. Don't critique yourself. Do not edit while you're creating. The same thing that advice is given to people who are writers. When you're writing a blog post or a draft for your book, you don't edit it while you're writing. Just write what's in your brain, get it all out on paper, then we go back and then we edit everything. So first is get it on paper, don't edit, don't say it's wrong, just do it. Number 3, observe what is going on around you. You feel like you're challenged and coming up with ideas. Well, where am I going to get the ideas from? Observe, pay attention. What do you see other people doing? What do you hear other people talking about? What challenges do you see other people having? How do you see other people dealing with the same challenge that you have? Observe. The more you pay attention and notice what's going on around you, the more ideas will come to you. But you got to sharpen your skills of observation. Get out of your head. Stop thinking about yourself so much and start noticing what's going on right in front of you. There's a lot of ideas right in front of your face on a daily basis that you're not even noticing because your mind is so focused on yourself. Call that being self-conscious. When you're so self-conscious that you can't even notice what's going on around you, you're not putting any energy out into the universe. Therefore, you're not going to get any energy back. And that's why you can't come up with any ideas. So you see how all this stuff is interconnected? Come up with ideas by observing, noticing, listening, asking questions, paying attention. When you do these things, you will notice things, you will hear things, you will learn things that you're like, damn. That's been in front of me every day for the last 10 years, and it's the first time I ever paid attention to it. It's the first time I ever even thought about that. And I guarantee you're going to have a whole bunch of those realizations once you sharpen your skills of observation. And on my podcast, which is called Work on Your Game, it's on SoundCloud, Google Play, Spotify, Apple, everywhere else. Listen to my podcast. I have episodes where I talk about sharpening your skills of observation. Again, it's on my website also. The link is in the video description. So the third one is observing. The fourth one is creating momentum. The more you create this habit, or once you create this habit and you keep exercising this habit, doing it every day, training your brain to understand there's no bad idea that you're going to edit and throw away, so you're not penalizing yourself for coming up with some idea that seems wacky or whatever you want to call it that doesn't seem it could ever be executed on. Once you train your brain to be comfortable enough and confident enough to know it can supply you an idea that you're not going to beat yourself up about because it's a quote-unquote bad idea, you're going to create the momentum of coming up with more than 10 ideas a day. Maybe you'll come up with 12. One day you'll have 25. One day you might have 30. One day you might get into a real situation in your life where you need some ideas and you're going to have like 50 because you've already developed this skill and this habit of observing, of paying attention, of not saying anything's a bad idea. You create momentum and it starts working on your behalf, starts working in your favor. So that's the reason why you're going to come up with ideas every single day. So let me recap what I just told you about coming up with ideas, why it's valuable, and what you should do with it. Number 1, 10 ideas per day. Write them down. Don't have to be good. They don't have to be about a specific topic, but you can make them about a specific topic if you want to challenge yourself even further. 10 ideas every single day. Write them down. They're not written down. They don't count. Number 2, there is no bad idea. Do not self-edit. Don't throw anything out in the process of coming up with ideas. They don't have to be good. Just come up with ideas. Let your brain get comfortable with that first. Then we can worry about making them good. But first is get everything down and develop the habit. Do that for a year before you worry about what's a good and what's a bad idea. Number 3, observe, pay attention, ask questions, notice things. A lot of people are not good at this because we're looking at our phones, we're thinking about ourselves, we're looking at our text, and we're not even seeing the things that are right in front of our faces that would be great ideas for us if we notice them and put some thought into how could I apply what I'm seeing right here to my own life and my own situation. If you did that, you would have a whole lot more ideas than you've been having up to this point. And for many of you, a number you've been having up to this point might be 0 because you're not paying attention to anything but yourselves. And number 4, momentum. Come up with ideas every day. Train your brain to be okay with coming up with a wacky, weird idea. Observing and noticing things, you're going to create the momentum of coming up with ideas even when you're not trying to. And when you get into a situation in your life when you actually need an idea, like you seriously need an idea, your brain will be ready to deliver because you have trained and conditioned it to do it in the times that you didn't need it. And as they say, I don't even know what to say. I know I'm going to jack up this phrase, but they say if you're prepared in times of peace, then you won't be nervous or anxious in times of war. Having it and not needing it is better than needing it and not having it. Works the same for ideas. It's a cliche. The reason it's a cliche because it's based in truth. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. My book, Work on Your Game, using the pro athlete mindset to dominate in business, sports, and life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audiobook 100% done by me. You have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.